You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 12th meeting of the Michigan City Board of Aviation Commissioners. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, this is the call to order.
Craig?
You
could have done that.
Yeah.
All right, so, sorry. Board of Aviation Commissioners monthly meeting agenda, December 12th, 2024. It is 1 p.m. Call to order. Members present, we have T.Y. Okeson, Greg Poulin, Kurt Connor, myself, Jeff Bartlett. We have a quorum. Others present, Jessica Ward, Airport Manager, Dave Pixie from BF&S Consulting, Paul Walczak from AOPA representing. No members are absent. Reading of the minutes, November 20th, 2024. Everybody get a chance to look and review those minutes that were sent from Jessica?
I move they be accepted as written.
Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Reports, financial.
Yeah. We are at the end of the year, friends. Finally made it. All of our minor transfer requests have been sent over to the controller's office. I just did that today. We used 86% of our operating budget this year, which is really good. In our aviation fuel account, we used 65.82% of that. So, I mean, we're right where we're supposed to be at the end of the year.
Good job.
So I was pretty excited about that. I also gave you the list of airport funds for transfer. It looks like this, just so you guys can have it. I mean, you'll know what accounts are negative, what needs to have money in. So it's like under decrease and under increase, there's like 3 different sections that are kind of broken out. The first section of decrease with salaries and wages goes to the first section in airport increase. And so those are the minor transfers. So I'm not allowed to move money in between like the second set with the first or the second set with the third. It's gotta be first to first, second to second, third to third. So that's kind of how you go through and look at those. So that's where I moved money from. The decrease and then increase is where I had to move money into. So now all of our accounts at the end of the year are gonna be positive and they're gonna be happy with us.
Excellent.
Great.
Excellent.
I did encumber some money going into next year. Express Press, I have an encumberment PO for them for $128.18. That's at the bottom of this page. That purchase order is for a new transient log. We had the log up there that they would fill in where they were based and that they're here. We finally, 2017 to 2024 is as far as that log went, so it's good. So now we have a new one starting 2024. Hopefully we'll get it before the end of the year, but I put 2024 on that. And then it's gonna go till when that one runs out. So that's for the new log, 128.18. New Holland for $4,630.35. Hey, Nancy. Yay, welcome. For New Holland, that is just for the labor that they came out and changed fluids and all that maintenance repair. So I have that. I don't have the exact number yet for that. So as soon as she gets that to me, I'll be able to put that in for a claim. So right now it's just sitting out as a purchase order for that. So those are the only 2 that we have that we might need to move. Express Press will definitely move into next year. New Holland, I might not need to encumber, but that's just a purchase order I have outstanding. We also have the airport project, our fuel farm, the $769,450.80. That money is being encumbered into next year for the fuel farm. Then we also have our other encumberment is for, I gotta think about that. It's for the marketing material. That we do, that's for BF&S. Remember when they put together that marketing material for the runway extension? I'm encumbering like $12,000 into next year for that as well. Because we're hoping we need to meet with legislators. We have a lot of work to do on the extension and kind of, getting that out there. So that money is gonna be encumbered for that. And that's our budget in a nutshell for the end of this year.
Thank you. Fuel sales.
Our fuel sales, overall we sold 658 gallons, 100 low lead, 477 of Jet A, and 213.9 of Swift fuel in November. We are up 4% in gallons sold year to date from last year. Our current fuel prices are $5.34 for self-service avgas, $5.49 full-service avgas, $4.24 for self and full-service Jet A, and $6.75 for self-service unleaded 94. So that's where we're at with that. Hopefully we finish off this year pretty strong. November was so windy. That's all I have to say about November. It was so windy. So I'm hoping this is a good month.
Thank you. Airport manager report.
So we have the Hustler mower trade-in. So the mayor has given us $58,000 in ARPA money. Yay! So like 47,000 something we have for the Hustler mower trade-ins. I talked about that. We're trading in 3 of our Hustler mowers. We're getting 3 new Hustler mowers, but they're going to be better than the last ones.
Nice.
And so I'm pretty excited about that. And then $10,000 of that is just for equipment purchase. The only thing I put in there that we definitely are going to need that'll fit in the $10,000 range is a tow bar. I want to do a universal tow bar so people can pull their planes in and out when they use the overnight hangars, and any pilots that need it can use it. So that's a big piece of equipment that I'm hoping to be able to get with that, and then we'll see what else we have after that. I did reach out to a couple of different vendors that sell the universal tow bars. You also need the attachments that fit on, for each different type of aircraft and stuff. So we'll have to figure out exactly what would work best here, and are the planes that we know that we would need them for sure. But then there's other pilots out here that are telling me like other options that maybe we can do, one of the little electric ones, which kind of helps a little bit. It's just the walk behind, yeah. So we have options for the universal tow bar. So I'm going to talk to like TY, Paul, get a couple people in, and figure out what they think would be best since they're pilots and that's what they do.
Well, who's gonna actually operate
If it was an electric one, I think we would probably operate that part. If it's just one of the universal tow bars that you just manually use, then the pilots would operate that.
Yeah, but you said you were gonna have it attached to one of the Hustlers.
Oh, no, that's different. That's just with the ARPA money. We got the money with ARPA for the Hustlers, and we also got special, like $10,000 she gave us for a piece of equipment. That's different than the Hustlers, yeah. We're not attaching it to anything. It would be manual
Okay.
for the universal tow bar, unless we get one of the little electric ones. And then it doesn't attach to anything. It's just like its own little piece of equipment. So that's what I'm looking at for that. Tractor plow blades, broom wipers. We did receive the estimates on those to purchase them with this year's operating budget, which I have done. The annual maintenance has also been completed on the hydraulic, on the tractor. The hydraulic relief that we had has been repaired. I'm just waiting on the invoice for the maintenance, which I just talked about. My minor transfer request included additional money into equipment repair account line to cover additional costs over that estimate. The guy had to come out twice, when he figured out what parts he needed for the hydraulic leak. He had to come back to reinstall those parts. So I know it's going to be more than what the estimate was, because that estimate was just for one time coming out and doing the maintenance. So you see in that where I did the increase for equipment repairs, I put $8,700 in there. So that's with additional money that we know we'll need to include for that. And that's the plow blades and broom wafers. We don't order those every year. It's just like every other year we need to. And so next year we won't need to order them unless it's like some crazy year, which we hopefully don't have, so it doesn't matter. So like every other year is how often we need to order those. Festival of Lights Chili Challenge. This past Saturday was the Michigan City Festival of Lights celebration downtown on Franklin Street. They had the holiday parade, and then after that there was a Kindle market, chili challenge, visits with Santa Claus at Uptown Social. I competed again in the chili cook-off, and being the 2-year undefeated champion in the city department category, and I won again.
Nice.
Third year in a row for the city challenge. That was fun. So I did not win with everyone. The police department won that. But I'm going to say something about that. The police department won. My chili was better. I'm going to say that. But the police department won because they have 1 million people that come out. They have all the officers, all their wives, all their kids. I'm a department of 1 here. People, what do you expect, right? So I won in ours. It's voted, yeah, the public. The public comes out, you pay $5, all the proceeds go to Meal on Wheels. And so I won in the city department.
Well, congratulations.
3rd year in a row, undefeated. Next year I'm gonna make tofu chili, so I don't win, and then I don't have to give you everything.
I like tofu.
I'm kidding, it's fun. Yeah, right? So yeah, it was really fun. All proceeds went to Meals on Wheels. And that's all I have. That finishes up this year. Perfect timing.
We have Paul on the phone.
Hey, Paul.
All right, that completes airport manager. I want to add one amendment for others present. Nancy Moldauer, Michigan City Council, airport liaison. So thanks
Yay.
again. Appreciate it, Nancy. Airport development. Oh, perfect. Paul, would you like to, or we have Dave?
Dixon.
Yeah, I mean, we can go ahead. Let's see, on the runway 2 and 20 the extension project, not a lot's gone on that one since the last meeting. We are working on getting some meetings set up. I did have a conversation with Young's office, so we'll get a meeting set up there and some other legislative assistance on the funding of that. Outside of that, the pre-applications were submitted as approved last month. Are there any questions on the runway extension?
No.
And then the Leslie property should be updated too, Paul, real quick, because
Okay,
you're
yeah, go for it.
you're almost ready with that.
Yeah, I've been communicating via email with everybody in Michigan City Department and then with Bill for legal for handling that. I think we're going to come down to, I think it's the 23rd of December for the title for everybody signing and making sure that's completed. So we're on track right now.
Very good. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Jessica. And then the second item was the runway 2 and 20 crack sealing project. Your inspector's there, Dave. We did get an email from Jonathan today from the contractor. And they basically said that they're hoping to start April 21st on the milling and crack sealing, with the surface treatment going back on the 28th. So they should have, if the weather's perfect, they'll have less than a 2-week closure. If the weather gives them a little fits, they may have a little longer than a 2-week closure. So that's the most recent schedule there. We'll just have to wait and see it.
Can they use the parallel taxiway?
Not officially.
That's why I said,
Yeah. So, yeah, pilot's discretion.
yeah.
For a naval aviator, I'm sure it's not a problem at all.
Any point in the storm.
Yeah. Let's see. So the last item is the fuel farm. We got good news on the fuel farm. Eligibility came back good from IDEM. So that was good news. We have Andrew Maximovich has reached back out to Joe Wyman, your program manager, to make sure they're still good for the 30%. And that's kind of the next step. But then from there, even while we're waiting on the FAA to come back on that, I think we need to go ahead and move towards procuring a contractor and a price on that. I sent some handouts with Dave on this, which is an alternative. Well, there's several options on how we could do this, and to cut to the chase, to save you time, my recommendation is that we use an alternative delivery method that is slightly different than what you're used to. The method's called Build, Operate, Transfer. It falls under Indiana Code 523-3. And basically there are a handful of ways you can procure this as a Board of Aviation Commissioners. The traditional one is design, bid, build. That's the way we would normally do it. That's the way we do almost all the projects. But because this project has a lot of variables and there's a lot of specific contractor expertise, we recommend that you would either go design build or build, operate, transfer. There's another one on that sheet called construction manager or constructor, which is really kind of the same thing as build, operate, transfer. So the nuts and bolts of this arrangement is that you basically pick a contractor based on qualifications, and then from there you go into a guaranteed maximum price contract negotiation, and then that is what sets the price. So the only catch with this method is we'd have to go back to the city council and get a resolution passed to be able to use this method by Indiana State Code. So you don't have to make a decision today. We can do that in January, but I thought I would update the board with regard to that process today.
So, Paul, so your good judgment is that this alternative process is preferable. Do you have some kind of justification to interest in that direction?
Yeah, so in the handouts, if you look at like the page 2 on why you might use alternative delivery, there's all kinds of things listed in there, like variable funding sources,
Flexibility,
variable flexibility, yeah,
constrained
being
and
able to
complex
pick your,
schedule.
yeah.
Well, Paul,
So those are
So,
stuff that's great.
Paul,
Sorry.
in the public-private agreements, are you dealing with only one contractor at a time? Or do you,
Well, not initially. Initially, you, and I think there's an outline in there, you can kind of see the process. You advertise, you have a first and second advertise, just like you would a bid, but so there's multiple contractors competing against each other for the proposal, and then you pick them based on their qualifications. So, how many field farms have they done? Have they done an aviation system? We'll call their references, and then you score them, and then so they're competing basically on their know-how. And then from there, you do negotiate one at a time with the preferred, the highest scoring contractor. You negotiate with them a guaranteed maximum price. If you can't reach an agreement, we say, okay, here's what we think is a fair price, but you can't get there. Then you go to your number 2 selected contractor and you negotiate with them.
okay, makes sense to me.
So the big benefits, back to TY's question is this really allows you to control, rather than in a design build or a design bid build where you have to award the project to the lowest responsible bidder. This allows you to make sure that you create a short list before you start negotiating price to make sure you have a contractor that is qualified to do the work. Because it is a very niche thing. Just because a contractor has built an automobile gas station doesn't mean they can build an airport fuel system. So it's very important that we have the ability to make sure we can select a contractor who actually knows what they're doing. So that's probably the major benefit of the program. And then the second benefit is on guaranteed maximum price, it shifts the risk of cost escalation and unknowns from the airport to the contractor. So that max price contract once we reach an agreement on that and we ink that, they cannot go above it. If they go above that, it cuts into their fixed fee, their profit on the project. If it comes in below it, then you'll receive credit for the savings, but their fixed fee stays the same, so they just make a little bit more profit on it. but that profit number initially, that fixed fee is negotiated on the original guaranteed maximum price. So it's a really nice method of reducing risk in a project that has many variables on it, and transferring that over to the contractor. The other aspect on the operational warranty period, there's an opportunity to have the contractor be responsible for all the maintenance on the facility for the first year. So they would have to change the filters, they would have to, if there's a coupling that goes bad or anything like that, we can put it in their contract, and then that way you can run that system for a year with them responsible for all maintenance items, and it works the bugs out of the system. Where the other ones, you'll have a 1-year warranty, but they're not technically maintaining the system. So those are some nuances in the delivery and the alternative delivery method that I'm recommending that make it pretty attractive for the airport.
Well, Paul, do you offer the same fee, let's say you had two on the public-private, two contractors, do you offer, because of your analysis, BF&S's analysis, the same fee to each of them? Or does one maybe get a different quote on the fee?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question, Kurt. So we don't work for the contractor, we still work directly for you. So that fee, no matter who the contractor is, our fee for the services stays the same, which is to you and not a contractor. That also is a benefit to the airport too, because in a design build, we actually get paid by the contractor, and that makes things tricky because you're the original client, and then to have the contractor as your client creates a kind of a conflict. So this way, we never work for the contractor, we always work for you, and the fee's going to be the same no matter who the contractor is.
Okay.
Paul, on average, how many people are qualified within our area to do field farms? Is there a large selection to pick from, or is it pretty specialized that there's only like 2 or 3, or?
Yeah, Jeff, that's a good question. I think the reality of it is there are really 3 that I know of. That doesn't mean there couldn't be some out of Illinois or Michigan in your area that I'm not used to working with regularly.
Okay.
But from the Indianapolis area, I know of 2, and then there's 1 more in southern Indiana that have done fuel systems in Indiana. So I'm thinking there's 3 pretty strong candidates that would probably, submit on this. There could be somebody out of Chicago or somebody out of Michigan that might also submit.
But you've worked with these 3, and you know their, I guess, work ethics and their type of, quality of work.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And
Okay.
so you can think on that a month, and we can talk about it in January once we get a response back from FAA on the 30%. Or if you think that's the way you want to go, you could go ahead and instruct us to get on the city council agenda, and we'll educate them.
And why does the city council need to have a resolution for this?
Yeah, so because it's under the public-private partnerships section of the Indiana Code, Board of Aviation Commissioners Act, you are a division of the city.
Right.
And because of that, it's not specifically addressed as a power in the Board of Aviation Commissioners statute. So you have to have your financial entity, which is the council, approve the method.
I see.
And so we've done this a lot for other airports, so we have kind of a canned resolution that we would run by Amber with the city, and of course Bill, your attorney as well, and so they would vet that. But that's the reason. Airport authorities in Indiana are their own municipal entity. They don't have to seek their council approval, but in Board of Aviation Commissioners standpoint, you have to.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Is that something we want to do then? Get on the.
Well, I would say yes, yes, because I mean, that's good advisement right there,
Yeah.
so I would follow that.
All right, is there a motion to use the bill to operate transfer process and get a resolution passed and get on the agenda for the city council for next month?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes, thank you. Thanks, Paul, we'll do that.
You
So
can
we're
count
gonna
on me to be the sponsor for
Oh,
that.
thank you,
Thanks, Nancy.
Nancy.
Paul, I think the next one, unless you have something else, is the AIP, is that correct, the partial pay request?
The AAP 29.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't have that sitting in front of me, so can you read that off the sheet, Dave?
Oh, we can, I'll read it.
Yeah.
Motion to submit AIP 29 partial pay request number 2, and I'll make a motion for this, in the amount of $17,075.71, where federal is $15,368, and state $853.78, and local $853.93.
Thank you, do I have a second?
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks,
Paul.
Paul.
Good. Have a good day.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
Sorry I missed you. We had a good Aviation Indiana meeting down here, so,
Oh, awesome. Excellent.
yeah. All right, thank you.
We'll be in touch. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, bye.
Old business, there's nothing on there. New business. Nothing in new business. Claims docket. Anybody get a chance, or did everyone get a chance to see that? Anybody have any questions or anything?
Move it be accepted as written.
All right. We have a motion to accept the claims docket for $41,624.02.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Correspondence.
The only correspondence was the IDEM letter saying that we got 50% reimbursement. That's such
Great.
big news.
Big deal. All right, public comment. Any public comment?
I have one comment.
Paul?
Actually, I also have a question too, and I should have asked this when Paul was on, but do we know any rough timing on the fuel tank farm, when that might actually occur? Would you-
You're looking at 12 to 18 months, I would expect.
So 2026 probably?
Right.
Okay. That's what I figured.
And the money that IDEM gives you, you already paid into that from your underground storage.
Correct, yeah, it's from the excess,
Excise tax.
yeah, excess liability trust fund.
Paul, are you thinking of new space for any new fuel brands? Is that what you're thinking, or what?
Just so I know when that might happen. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. we
He's
get-
looking for the new 100 fuel, we know Paul's looking
That's
for
great.
it.
Let it feel that way.
Yeah, I was just talking to Kirk
If you'd
about
like to
that.
donate a tank in that farm,
It's, I don't.
we'll put your name on it, Paul.
It's for sale, announced it's for sale in California now. You can actually buy it. So that's good. The second thing, June 20th or 27th of next year, the Michigan City Airport Beach Fly-In, Beach Weekend Fly-In, we're calling it.
June 20, what?
20th or 27th, one of those weekends, haven't decided yet, but the idea is to have as many people as possible fly in and work with various Michigan City attractions and locations to kind of highlight the city and get into the casino and the beach and the zoo and those.
That's great.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh, and related to that, could we, you mentioned the log, could we use emails from that?
Yes.
I assume that if people put their email down, they're willing to be
Yep.
contacted?
Correct?
Because people who have flown here might be a good
Mhm.
candidate to email and say, hey.
Yep.
Join.
We'll do that the whole first of the half a year, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
get it out, all the information.
That's great.
Awesome. I'll volunteer to harvest emails unless you're already planning on doing it.
Yeah, I harvest.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
I mean, if I'm in California, I'm not gonna fly here, so.
Well, I'm guessing the people who flew in here probably didn't.
So, I mean, you're gonna be looking at just localized emails, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
Well, it could be, because if they were here to see family or friends, they might come back in the summer and coordinate that. And go, hey, I'll go visit them because we got a fly in here,
All
so.
right, okay.
You never know.
I don't have any assumptions for anybody.
That's right, you never know. It'd be a good excuse to come here, like, hey, I gotta go to the fly.
Pilots are always looking for a reason to fly.
I know, I don't you know it.
Might be just T-Buying me in a tent out there. Just in case it's fine. We're trying to get as many people as
I would not let that happen. We're gonna campaign to bring a lot of
That's right.
folks in here.
Hey, Paul, can you use the 100 low lead and the new no leaded fuel interchangeably?
Yes, they are
You can mix them.
in any combination.
Sort of like the UL, I mean, you can mix, you know.
Alright. That completes all the items on the agenda. I'd like to thank everybody for attending. If there are no further questions and comments,
I make a motion to adjourn.
so second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
All right.